I have a travel hot take, and it's like based on TikToks I've seen. People are like, oh, like other travelers are out like drinking all night, and I'm like up at 6 a.m. and seeing the culture, or like POV, like I'm at the club, I'm in bed at 9, whereas like I'm doing this. And I think some people don't really always mean it this way, but it comes off a little like judgy to the travelers that are like out partying versus the travelers who are like going to bed early and I guess supposedly getting up the next morning and doing something more enriching or whatever. I think that nightlife is a pretty essential part of culture. And if you're traveling and not experiencing any nightlife at all, you're missing out on the culture of a place. I will explain. Because I don't mean drinking necessarily, but drinking culture is super, super relevant in a lot of destinations. If you've ever watched like the Tokyo episode of the Anthony Bourdain show, he does a really, really good job of talking about how like sanitized and proper Japan can be, and then how weird and like out there Japan can be, and like the two sides of that. And like obviously that goes back to everything that Japan has done like over the years. Super fascinating. But I think if you go to Japan and you go to bed at 8 o'clock every night in Tokyo, you are not seeing a certain side of Japan. There are so many countries where if you going to sit at a local bar or going to an event, even if you're in the Middle East where like there's no alcohol, nightlife in these places is like the heart of culture, especially in places where like it's a desert, it's 110 degrees during the day, so everything happens at night. But yeah, even if you don't drink, some of that, how people let loose and spend their time off, which typically happens at night because people are working during the day, is a big part of culture. So I think you do yourself a disservice if you go on vacation and go to bed at 9 o'clock every single night. And if that's your POV, that's what you're like, that's I'm doing me, I'm doing it, that's great. But I don't like you kind of say like, oh, I'm the one experiencing the culture, when maybe you are going to the museums every morning, and maybe there are some like gross 18-year-olds backpacking Southeast Asia who literally just drink and don't leave the hostel and don't see any culture. But nightlife is culture. And it's not like museum nightlife. I think they're a lot closer than we think, and you can learn a lot from sharing that moment with someone from another culture.